So you, clearly health and wellness it really is a passion for you. I think that's obvious, right?
Yep.
So one would ask, why would you get out of that? Why would you, switch over to real estate? We can talk about that. But you've been through a lot of really hard shit in your life. Like harder shit than anyone will ever have to deal with, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully most people.
So how has that just impacted where you are right now, where you want to go, what you want to do, all of that? Let's get real deep here.
Yeah. So I think, when you look at why I stopped coaching, it got to the point where I feel like I said all I had to say. I was repeating the same shit over and over. And at the end of the day, I felt like I loved helping people, but it's also draining when people don't take your advice. You can change this person's life and all they have to do is follow the plan and they don't follow it. And then you have the same conversation every week as to why they didn't follow it and why they might next week. And so then that kind of got me interested in I've always been also passionate about personal development, mindset, optimization as a whole. And so I feel like working out, health, wellness, optimization, that's one thing. But then there's business and money, and then there's probably mastering the subconscious mind and personal development. Those are three things that I've been passionate about really a long time. And so I just got sick of saying the same thing over and over in the health and wellness space, and I wanted something more. And I also didn't see how I could truly scale that at the time. Now there's certainly people who are coaches who've scaled huge, with online and media and whatever. But I just didn't want to do that. That just wasn't me. I enjoyed coaching people when they did what I said, but when I just
actually got something out of it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I just got sick of, I spent a long time with professional athletes, Olympic athletes, and it's you're at their beck and call, nights, holidays, weekends, travel, and it's fun and it's cool at first, and then you wake up and you're how long am I going to do this shit,
Right.
Yeah.
And
for me, I was at a point where I hope to eventually have a family and things like that, and I was this isn't the path, this is not the path. And then I also started seeing people who were having these crazy blocking factors. They know exactly what to do. I've told them what to do. They're not doing it. Why are they not doing it? Self-sabotage or something in their head is making them not do it. And so then I was all right, maybe I need to explore a little bit more the power of the subconscious mind. And so I started kind of getting more and more into that. And then in 2019, when I had a crazy health scare, I saw every doctor I could find. I went to the Mayo Clinic. I was bouncing around all these places. It was crazy. It was super scary. I literally thought I was dying. I waded through 3 different liver biopsies, to see what type of cancer I had and if there was treatment. So then I was all right, if I'm going to beat this, I have to get really mentally strong. I have to change the power of my subconscious mind. And so that's when I kind of went down this path of Joe Dispenza and all these other practitioners who are really into mindset. And so then I had a period of time 2018, 19, 20 where I was kind of more and more into that. And I just made the decision after really 2019, there's probably 6 or 7 months where I did not work. I did not really do much except for try to survive. And I woke up and I was all right, what's important? What's important to I want to have a family. I want to have a great life. I want to enjoy the rest of my life. I don't want to travel. I don't want to coach forever. I just made a decision, And so then I was what is the vehicle to help me do this? And I always came back to real estate. I always knew it should be real estate. I've been talking about it for even 17, 18, 19. I was talking about buying some more rentals, getting involved. I was getting ready to get ready. I just wasn't pulling the freaking trigger. Yeah. And so then after, facing death, living, waking up, literally at the end of 2019, it was rock bottom. It was the lowest of the low, okay? Lost, I weighed 130 some pounds, was skin and bones, felt like shit, literally was I couldn't walk around the block. I was so weak and so tired and so beat up, I could not walk around the block. And so it took me a long time to recover. During that exact time, I went through a horrific breakup, horrible breakup. And there was, she was divorced and had kids, and there was kids involved, and it was just really a bad thing.
Hard, yeah.
It was super hard.
Yeah.
And so between the sickness, the breakup, just kind of looking in the mirror being shit, what's next? I put my last decade into this thing. I don't know if I want to keep doing it. I don't really know what my identity is. I don't know what's next. And so at that point, I was all right, I need to do something big. And March of 2020 is when I just decided to like go all in on the real estate front. And it was also COVID.
Yeah.
So I thought like, all right, now, I'm single. It's weird. It's a weird time.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do.
I can't really be around anybody.
Right. There's nothing fun going on socially. You can't do
Sure.
anything. You can't travel. So I might as well go out. And I thought it was going to be like a 3 to 6 month push. But here I am like 28 months later. And, it was a 28-month push.
Right.
So,
How
here we
many
are.
houses in that period?
What's that?
How many houses in that period?
So we're at 170. Yeah. So just probably starting month
That's a
29.
lot of houses.
That's a lot of houses. Yeah. So acquired about, well, it's technically, I'm exaggerating because it's only about 150, 52 houses, but 170 doors.
Yeah.
That includes,
Multi-family.
yeah, like 1 to 4 units, but most of them are single family houses, a couple duplexes, a couple threeplexes.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of your way of getting out of that phase, right?
Right.
Phase of your life, if you
Right.
will. I mean, you dealt with 2 really difficult things at the same time. I can't imagine waking up every day wondering, like, how many days do I have left?
Yeah.
I'm sure that was on your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you made a conscious decision to, well, you survived it, right? You
Right.
had a pretty major surgery and like had to bounce back and like, no big deal. We'll just
40% of your liver gone, no big deal.
no big deal. Which I'm very curious how you're feeling now with that happening. But I mean, you went through this really shitty time where I'm sure like you just, I don't know how I would get out of bed every day, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But you then chose to kind of bounce back and ask yourself this really important question, like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Right.
It's one of those things. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There were some rough days. There was days where you feel sorry for yourself, days where you're depressed. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do anything, and you're just pissed off at the world, But at that point, you kind of have 2 decisions. Like, I'm either going to be the victim or I'm going to be the victor, and I'm going to make shit happen, And so, you got to worry about what you can control. And so I always say, and it's one of my favorite things, is like, pain is a hell of a motivator. Like, pain is an amazing motivator if you use it right. And so you can either take pain and let it take you down this deep spiral of depression and feeling sorry for yourself and being angry, which a lot of people who have horrible circumstances, they're legitimately could do that. And they have every right to feel that way or to do that. But the alternative is you take that and you let that inspire you and make you angry enough to take action. And I think that's what I did eventually. It wasn't overnight, but eventually I was like, all right, I'm sick of this shit. Like, I'm going to make something happen. And I also wanted to create something that, like, God forbid I had other health issues ever in the future, that I had something that ran without me, that could pay me and I could be okay.